For me, one of the most incredible parts about growing an exotic or tropical style garden here in the UK are the incredible plant combinations that are possible. Here in the garden, I grow plants from all around the world, all kinds of different structures, leaf shapes and colours. And today, I want to look at 3 exciting new books that will really help you add impact and colour to your garden this year. So let's get started. All those clips you just saw then were from our tropical garden in 2021, and we only moved in August 2020. The garden then was a complete blank canvas. So with this style of gardening, it's ideal if you want to transform a place, really get that lush jungle feel. And personally, I think whether you're starting a whole new garden from scratch, planting a tropical style border, or even growing a selection of containers for a holiday vibe, I think these 3 books I'm going to talk about are excellent for helping you out, both in terms of practical information as well as just inspiration and so many incredible pictures. But before I get started, honestly, why books? That's the question you might ask. This year, more than ever before, there's so many different sources of tropical style gardening, just ideas and inspiration. For a start, you've got Facebook, Tropical Style Gardening UK, that's probably my favourite group at the minute. So many incredible pictures in there. People have got so many incredible gardens here in the UK, and it's great to see them shared in a place that's approachable for beginners too. There's a lot of people giving really helpful advice there, and in all honesty, I think it's the first place you should start your tropical garden journey. But beyond that, yes, there's TV shows, there's some incredible YouTube channels out there. For a start, you've got Grow Paradise, Craig's channel. Last week, he made the decision to go full-time with it in his plant business. If you can support him, again, I'll put a link to his channel in the description below. It's really appreciated. If you like my videos, you'll definitely like Craig's. But anyway, onto the books. Why books? Well, personally, yes, I did an English literature degree. I like to mention that just to justify doing it. But personally, I think there's something from a book that you just don't get from looking at pictures on the internet or even watching television. There's something about having a book in front of you, the intentional act of reading, it just really is inspirational. Looking at pictures in a book, it lets your mind drift to places, and I think this time of year, more than ever, is the best time to be buying books that can inspire your garden this year. Because now, in March and April, it's a time when you can plan things out. Spring, planting those tropical plants out, it's so close now we can almost touch it. So really, it's the best time for some great ideas of some amazing plant combinations. So let's get looking at the first one, the jungle garden. Coming up then, we've got 3 incredible books. These raw books have been released fairly recently, all books that are very relevant, very accessible, full of pictures and practical advice. I think the second 2 are more about the inspirational side of things, creativity, and really pushing the boundaries. So if you want to add some real magic to your tropical style garden this year, if you think it's missing a certain something, then I think those 2 are probably best for that. But the first book, Philip Oostenbrink's The Jungle Garden, is probably the best jungle style gardening book out there today. This is full of practical advice, it's great for beginners, and probably the one that's closest to the book that I would write myself. So let's get started with this one first. So obviously I can't go through the whole book, show you every single page. That'll be a little bit unfair. You've definitely got to buy it yourself. I'll put links to all these in the description below. But why would you want this book? Well, firstly, it's so incredibly practical and accessible. If you just started a tropical style garden, this is the book that will help you put together a garden like the one behind me, full of all kinds of different plants from all around the world, all different leaf shapes. To me, this is a really accessible book that helps simplify the process in terms of designing your garden, how to plant for your soil type, different exposure levels. This book talks about every different kind of garden, and it also breaks the plants down too. So you've got a handy list in terms of leaf sizes and leaf shapes. It goes through all the different kinds of plants. I think when you start an exotic or tropical style garden, or you realise that you like these kind of plants, it can be really confusing. There's so many different varieties out there. I know personally, when I started getting into palms, to me, a lot of them look very similar. But once you get into it, once you appreciate the subtle differences between them, you can really learn how to build an exotic garden with real design and flair. And it's understanding these differences that's made so easy with this book. It honestly goes through about 100, probably even more than 100 different exotic plants. There's a full A to Z guide of all the kinds that grow best here in the UK. So in honesty, if you're just starting your tropical style garden, if you don't know where to start, this book is absolutely fantastic. if you've been growing tropical style plants for a few years now, then don't worry, this book isn't all about the basics. There's some incredible ideas in here, some plants I hadn't even heard of. I think Philip is an incredibly talented and creative plantsman, so really, whatever your level of experience, this is a great book that's worth buying. But I think finally, one great thing about this book is how it breaks down the different styles. So yes, I know my channel is called George's Jungle Garden, but here in the garden, I've got areas that are more jungly, others that are more colourful and say tropical style, and then I've got an exotic, arid Mediterranean style area at the end of the garden. So for me, it's all about planting for the right area, growing the right selection of plants to create a certain vibe, and this book explains how to do that really well. Whilst I have got a good collection of exotic gardening books from all around the world that are great for dreaming, imagination and putting together some planting ideas, I think it's the ideas in this book that are actually based on UK gardens. This one here is Paul Sprackling's garden in Essex. It's an incredible garden, and it's these ideas from real gardens that can show you the potential of what you can grow here in the UK. So don't let your garden be limited by what you can get in your local garden centre. It's pictures like this that really reveal just what's possible here, the limits that you can push, and what an incredible effect you can create in your UK garden. If you want to grow an exciting garden here in the UK then, packed full of giant leaves, then the Jungle Garden is a great place to start. But if you really want to up that creativity and experimentation to the next level, then Fearless Gardening by Loree Bohl is the one for you. This book is based on a blog for Danger Garden. If you haven't read that before, then I'll put a link to it in the description below. Check it out, there's loads of great blog posts there, so much incredible information. Loree is actually based in Portland, Oregon, so you wouldn't have thought on first glance that would translate much over here in the UK, but she's battling the same cold, wet winters that we do, and look at the style of plants that she grows. All kinds of incredible spiky agaves, brutal yuccas. These are the plant combinations that really excite me. Yes, you can have a jungle garden packed full of incredible foliage plants like cheflorers, but it's combining those with the arid style spiky plants that Loree does absolutely fantastically. Don't feel then that this book is just for advanced people wanting to push the garden to the next level. It's full of loads of great practical advice, and it's also, again, like the Jungle Garden, very approachable. To me, if you enjoy reading the Danger Garden blog, you'll appreciate Loree's tone in this book. It's very conversational. It's like chatting with an old friend about exotic garden plants. And to me, this book, probably one of the best things that it brings home is the practical ideas on how you can push the boundaries in your country, how we can grow plants despite cold winters, how you can store certain plants, grow others from seed every year, use bedding to really give it that exotic vibe. So to me, for the unusual combinations, combining big leaves, intricate foliage, and then spiky structural forms, this is the best book to go for. Honestly, get it, you won't regret it. But now the third and final book, it's Jimi Blake's A Beautiful Obsession. To me then, the magic thread that links these books together, it's all about plant combinations. So I think the Jungle Garden is a great introduction to these. It goes through which different plants you can grow here in the UK, suggests the best ones, tell you about how to combine these to create different effects, different styles of gardens. Then Fearless Gardening, it takes that to the next level. It's all about using creativity, experimentation, really pushing the boundaries of what you can grow in your location to create a garden that's striking, very individual, and something that your neighbours definitely won't have seen before. But I think those two traits are both combined, along with a mixture of incredibly beautiful planting in this A Beautiful Obsession by Jimi Blake. It's suddenly got very dark here and a bat's just whooshed past my ear. But anyway, Fearless Gardening. To me, that book is all about a mindset shift. It's about realising just what's possible in your location. Even in places with a cold winter, you can still have a really creative, exotic garden. And I think for me, it's about moving beyond the big leaves, about going past bananas, trachycarpus, all the plants that people know you can grow here in the UK. Yes, they're great, and yes, they deserve a space, but to me, it's about the agaves, the spiky plants, plants with unusual bark, interesting foliage from all around the world. It's about combining those to create a garden that's uniquely yours, something that no one else in your town will have seen before. And on that note, when it comes to uniqueness, Jimi Blake's Brook garden is certainly one I want to visit. And this book, A Beautiful Obsession, is a fantastic look at Jimi's story and how he put the garden together. But beyond that, it's also very practical. At the back, he's got a list of different nurseries, all kinds of exotic plants. And to me, when it comes to being a plantsman in the UK, no one is more creative or pushes the boundaries more than Jimi. What does this garden bring? Well, to me, the magic factor that Jimi brings is combining the plants that are unusual, combining exotics, these structural plants, with other plants that are more conventionally beautiful. having an exotic or tropical style garden, it doesn't have to be special because the plants are unusual, because they're rare, because people won't have seen them before. It can be beautiful in its own right. And to me, Jimi Blake's planting is absolutely incredible. There's so many beautiful pictures in this book, and it can really help you realise just what's possible. You don't have to stop at tropical style gardening or just have a jungle garden or purely have a shady area full of foliage plants. You can mix flowers in there. You can mix cacti in there. You can mix houseplants in there. You can plant anything you want to grow. And that, I think, is one of the lessons or tips I want to include in a lot of my videos this year. Your garden is whatever you want to make it. You can grow whatever you want to grow. And just because other people think a plant's rare or special, just because a plant's sought after, doesn't mean you have to have it in your garden. And in all honesty, if you enjoy growing a certain plant, if you think it looks attractive, and if you think it fits in really well with that exotic vibe, then you grow it. Honestly, that's probably the main point of this video. But anyway, I'm going to head inside now because it's actually getting quite dark, and the neighbours are probably slightly concerned that I'm stood out with a light holding books up in front of a camera, but they should be used to it by now. But anyway, these 3 books, I'm not just talking about them because I think they look great or because they're inspirational for me. I'm talking about them because I think you will really appreciate them as well. They're great for beginners, great for if you've grown a tropical garden but feel it lacks a bit of impact, and great ideas for different plant combinations. At the end of the day, one picture, one combination, that magic might be all you need to justify buying a book like this. And it's not just now you can enjoy these books. Read them now, you've got great ideas for this summer, but keep them for winter, and in those long dark nights, you've got something to look at as you imagine your garden next year and beyond. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, a quick introduction to 3 amazing books written by 3 incredible plants people. If you want to know more about these books then definitely check out the links in the description below. Honestly, they're incredible books that I've enjoyed reading, very inspirational. A few areas of the garden here have actually been inspired by these authors' gardens. They're incredibly creative and talented plants people. But honestly, if you enjoyed the video as well, then subscribe to my channel. I've got loads more videos planned for this spring. I'm going to move from a weekly upload schedule to more frequently and cover a wide variety of different plant care guides, how-to guides on creating a tropical style garden, as well as garden tours, and then sharing the journey of my exciting projects I've got planned for this spring. So there's loads coming up. But anyway, thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.